Carlos Sainz has opened up about the shocking decisions that saw him let go by Ferrari, passed over by a number of top teams, and eventually signed by Williams Racing. The 4-time race winner, 10-season veteran, is one of the best drivers on the grid, but next season he'll be joining the team who are 9th in the Constructors' Championship with just 6 points finishes all season. It is a career move so bad that Daniel Ricciardo would be proud, but Sainz clearly isn't happy about the situation. Following 4 competitive seasons at Ferrari, he'll be fighting for pity points next year. Today, I'll check out what Sainz had to say about the move and why it is so surprising it happened, so don't go anywhere. When it was announced before the season began that Lewis Hamilton would be joining Ferrari in 2025, it sent shockwaves through Formula One. The big surprise was that Hamilton would be leaving Mercedes after more than a decade at the team. It was a move that many people thought might happen at some point, but it was still a surprise, especially with the decision being made before the season had even begun. That decision would have been in the works for months before the announcement as well, meaning Hamilton probably knew it was going to happen in late 2023. Once the dust settled on that announcement though, the attention turned to Carlos Sainz. Ferrari was letting go of one of the most highly regarded drivers on the grid. The peak of his performance isn't quite on Charles Leclerc's level, but he doesn't offer the same abyssal lows which the Monegasque does on occasion, the kind of lows that cost him in 2022. Such as when he crashed while leading the Spanish Grand Prix, or in Imola that same season when 10 laps from the end he threw away 3rd place while chasing Checo in 2nd. Still, Leclerc is the career man, he is Ferrari through and through, and he is the driver Ferrari decided to stick with. That left Sainz in an uncomfortable position, but it was one that he could have made good use of. He was the first domino to fall in the 2024 silly season. He had the entire grid to choose from. He had more time than anyone else to make a decision, but as the weeks and then months ticked down, driver announcement after driver announcement came without any word of what Carlos Sainz's future would be. The grid held position for him for months as Audi, Williams, Haas and Alpine all vied for his signature, but Sainz wanted more. He wanted at least a top 5 team, but none of them wanted him on his terms. And so, it was eventually Williams who signed him. The Spanish driver has admitted that his ego was hurt when it became clear he would not secure a seat with another of F1's current front-running teams during the silly season. Asked about doors closing at the likes of reigning world champions Red Bull and 2024 race winners Mercedes beforehand, Sainz opened up about his feelings and how he processed the situation. "I've definitely come to peace, and I'm a true believer that if I'm not going there, it's because life doesn't want me to be there. There's something else coming after that will actually turn out to be good," he commented. "It hurt at the time. We all have egos. I have a driver ego and I couldn't understand it at the time. I still personally cannot understand certain choices that people have done." The choices he's talking about are presumably those made by Red Bull, Mercedes and Aston Martin. They were the only top 5 teams with a space available for Sainz. Before I talk about the decisions those teams made and why Sainz is so baffled about them, let's see what he had to say about joining Williams. The team was clearly not his first choice. In the end, they were the best of 2 pretty bad options for a driver of Sainz's quality. But they were the team that decided to have faith in him, and he's grateful for it. At the same time, it creates even more of a challenge in me. It even makes me more excited for Williams. Williams is the one that has invested in me, that have backed me up from the beginning, the ones that came to me a full year ago. It actually makes me super excited. I've said, I want to give to these guys what they've given to me, give back to them their trust and this belief in me. It gives me good strength. I cannot wait to go there and together with them build something good. It'll be interesting to see what Sainz can achieve at Williams. There are still questions over how good Alex Albon is, and how the two match up against each other will be fascinating to see. Before I talk about the series of decisions that saw Sainz arrive at Williams though, if you are enjoying the video and want to catch some more daily F1 news, make sure to give it a like and subscribe to F1 Reverse. We recently passed 70,000 subscribers, and with the 3-year anniversary of us bringing you daily F1 news coming up in the new year, we'd love to see how far we can go. Thanks a lot. It would be fascinating to hear which decision Carlos Sainz finds the most baffling. Is it Red Bull's choice to extend Perez's contract over bringing him in? Is it Mercedes' decision to go for a 17-year-old rookie? Or is it Aston Martin's choice to let Lance Stroll continue? The Mercedes decision seems the most straightforward of the 3. George Russell is a perfectly reasonable driver to keep around. At the moment, he kind of looks like a younger Carlos Sainz. He appears to have the opportunity to have a great career at a top team, but there are questions over whether he possesses the raw talent to be a world champion. Andrea Kimi Antonelli is an exciting-looking talent. His junior career is impressive, but that is no guarantee of F1 success anymore. The current F1 cars are so different from anything else that juniors drive throughout their career that you can never be sure how they'll do until they step into the car. Antonelli's crash in FP1 at the Italian Grand Prix this year, on only his second ever lap, wasn't the most promising start, and his FP1 outing in Mexico didn't excite anyone either. However, Toto Wolff has been stung before when he passed up on Verstappen before the young Dutchman joined Red Bull, and he really doesn't want that to happen again. From Sainz's point of view though, he won't be happy about the fact that Mercedes would rather have a completely unproven 18-year-old over himself. Aston Martin's decision is also pretty straightforward, even if it is infuriating. Fernando Alonso is a championship winner who still has the pace to compete at the top, even if the team hasn't provided the car. And Lance Stroll is, sadly, still a Stroll. Until he decides he's happy to move to Aston Martin's expanding WEC team, he isn't going to lose his seat, no matter how bad that decision is for the team. Carlos will be more baffled than anyone about that decision. If it was any other team making that choice, it wouldn't even have been a consideration. They wouldn't even consider Lance over Carlos. It is maddening that they passed over the opportunity to have the Spanish Dream Team in 2025, but Lance is Lance, and nothing will change that. Red Bull's choice to keep Perez over him will be the most infuriating for Carlos. He won't be able to understand why Red Bull would make that decision, but his entourage burnt that bridge a long time ago. When Max and Carlos were teammates, their fathers were far from friends. Both drivers have motorsport veteran fathers. Jos Verstappen was a former F1 driver and also won the 24 Hours of Le Mans. Meanwhile, Carlos Sainz Sr. is a two-time World Rally champion. However, Sainz Sr. certainly has more of an image and legacy to contend with than Jos, as the 52-year-old Dutchman didn't really achieve much success in F1. The situation between the two of them was so bad when they were both on the same team that even Helmut Marko described it as toxic. They were two fathers trying to get the best for their sons, but that resulted in a lot of underhanded moves, political shenanigans, and going against team orders to ensure that their boy came out on top. With the Verstappens now running the show at Red Bull, Sainz was never going to get a chance back at the team. Dislike the decisions as much as he may, Carlos shouldn't be too surprised that they were made the way they were. There were opportunities in those teams for him, but he wanted a long contract, and Mercedes certainly weren't willing to give him that. At least he now has the opportunity to head to Williams and rebuild after a year that has left him with a bruised ego and a desire to prove himself once more. Are you as surprised as Carlos about where he's ended up? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and until next time, drive safe and bye for now.